Alright, first off, I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Stone, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth, the sisters, the believers, the helps, shalom. This is the brother Iwaram from the Jamaica camp, and just want to do a follow-up video, basically, or an extra, based upon the video that was done yesterday with basically the money failing in Egypt, right? And it made me basically bring to mind the so-called white man and where I do today in regards to him basically using debt as a tool to basically eat up these nations, right? Or basically to gather the resources, right? So when him basically remove the gold standard, when him start bringing him fiat currency, this is what him do. Him basically found a way to have the whole world indebted to him, right? Because if you look around the world, whether I want the IMF or the World Bank or whosoever, all these nations are in debt, right? And the debt is so large, it cannot be paid. And even the Apostle Ramlab in the video yesterday I showed you that look, the US GDP versus the US total debt, the debt is higher. Hence, if you're in a house and your bills more than what you earn, then you're gonna run into problems, right? So this is what them the international bankers them do you, and basically give you the loans, and then after a while when you can't pay back the loans, they hear them start coming what them call austerity measures, right? So them start why you have to cut funding, you have to cut this, you have to cut that, and then them come and say, ah, look, that not work anymore. So you need to give it a piece of land over this, or you need to sell with certain companies we have, like for example here in Jamaica, them end up sell the electrical company, JPS, right? Certain waterfronts, certain beaches, them have to sell them, right? The bauxite that was sold to Russia, right? So with all these austerity measures, you start realizing the country have to sell out, but after a while the so-called white man are gonna start owning things them in the country, and eventually it will come down to them owning the people because um in this world, right, or in a government, you have what's called human resources, right? And the human resources is basically the people, right? The people where you use for work to gather the income. So that when them don't have no building and no waterfront and not left to sell, them just have to give up the people. And we see it right here in Genesis 47 verse 13 on down, right? I'm going to read it and expound more, right? So before we go into that, you have the when these banks come to you, them tell us, say, look, you need to sign certain treaties, right? And you have to sign treaties with the World Trade Organization and all type of other treaties. And what them do is based on how the use Jamaica for example again, like they have a great farming industry in the early 90s, right? And when the farmer them basically put them price on them goods based on the work with them do, you have the big companies them come in and them sell like milk powder and them sell the GMO things them at a way lower price and basically collapse the farming, right? So all them farmers that would have probably borrow money, right, to get them thing going, would have going at debt, and basically the governments would have probably the government or the banking institution whoever them get the loan from would have get the land, right? But Esau do that on a larger scale, right? When a country can't do certain things, them come in with the austerity and take certain things. Now you have China as a major country which is basically spearheading the Agenda 21 and the infrastructure building all around the world, right? And then basically a fund what is called the Belt and Road Initiative, right? Brothers can look that up. But China basically go all around the world and lend these nations all type of money at a low interest rate, right? In return for build certain ports, right, at certain strategic locations, certain roads, right, and certain buildings, right. We have certain type of design, right? As we are going at yesterday with the type of design with the technology and all type of that. But the thing is, despite the fact that it's a low interest rate, the countries still cannot pay it back. So when the countries can't pay it back, the same infrastructure where them build at these strategic points, China just own them, right? Because them can't pay it back. And on top of that, as we say, oh, you have videos and information that shows that look, China spearhead the especially the funding and the building of Agenda 21, right? So that is all the Lord willing in the future we can put up some videos in regards to the Belt and Road Initiative, right? But brothers can just look it up for the time being and how would they must pay it for the UN, right? So this we just pulls up a couple scriptures and show that look, Esau has been an oppressive bitch, right? Because this is how Egypt gets its power in the last known world, right? And the same thing Esau gonna do, but all thing instead of one country or one region, he might do it to the whole entire world, right? Genesis 14 verse 13, and there was no bread in the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan for the corn which they bought, and Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. So in them time they know say yo that are like silver and gold, right? And certain barter trades and all type of precious metals and them thing there, right? Verse 15, and when the money failed in Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you your cattle if money fail. I will give you for your cattle if money fail, right? So basically, austerity, again, put upon the people. So the mode of paying off the debt here can't work, right? Go put something else in place, right? And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle that year. And when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent, and my lord also had our herds of cattle. There is not aught left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our children? Buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. Give us seed, that we may live and not die, that land be not desolate, right? That land be not desolate. And this is what Esau do now, right? Based upon the fact that these nations are desperate and make them in our debt, right? Them are do certain things against each other, like the trade wars, as you know, them always fund both sides of the war, right? Remind me even the movie Game of Thrones when when the banker from Bravos come to talk to Cersei, right? And them a show say, look, one lord, one king they once owe we, and we realize him could pay the debt. So what we do is we fund the army of his enemy. And when that land was conquered, then we got ours in full. So the bank is always repaid, right? So this is how them do them the two sides basically fight. So them fund US give US some money, US build up their military, right? Then Russia build up their military, then US start build certain things to ensure some money are drilling, and basically when the country them basically are trying to make them currency stronger than each other as well as their military, right? And the fact say the both sides in debt or all sides in debt, what them gonna try to do is everybody try to pick a side for the side we're gonna come out on top at the end of the war, because at the side they're gonna be basically debt free, right? And also, them hidden agenda for basically when them destroy most of what go on them start control with a small populace, and then take them time and spread out. When they know the mind of the so-called white man probably him plan to fix everything after him don't fuck it up or whatever, but him not really get the chance, but just for help push the idea of or this or show you what this man is doing, right? So basically, him have the world on a big oppressive debt, and basically what him do is him push the nations them for war using the debt as a tool, because what happened with the US dollar right now, right? If the US dollar can't, if the US can't find a way to keep it as the world reserve currency, then them have to go to war. Is it that or them economy will collapse, right? Which ultimately all economies are gonna get collapsed, because what? The US dollar tied in all economies, right? And also, first and foremost, it's a part of prophecy that it's going to collapse, and the whole the war have to come and all of that. But just to show how the Mosai use the so-called white man to get this done, right? So he basically use the debt as a way to put nation against each other. As they have this documentary, All Wars Are Bankers Wars. I'm show you how they manipulate both sides at the field, right? Fund who them want fund, lend who them want lend. You see me? So everybody is it's all just a pawn, and them I use the debt for get up the nations them resources, and also force them to fight, right? Verse 20. And Joseph bought all the land for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them, so the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities, one from one end of the borders of Egypt even unto the other end thereof. And the land, so basically it show you that him start bringing them in the cities. That at the point of the lesson yesterday to show that them basically do a urbanization, a act of urbanization, right? Where they move people to the rural areas, right, and bring them in the so-called metropolitans, or the mother cities, right? And that is our plan to do, because when this war start, when the austerity measures start, the whole society are gonna be in a certain level of chaos. And in order for them think that they are the only, them feel like what them need to do is, once the place in a chaos, in order to have order, you chip the people them way so-called upon the right side, right? What side with the government, or who want safety with them offer, you're gonna need to take that RFID chip to be a part of that city, or to be a part of that safe zone, right? In order to be urbanized, and a function within, and a buy and sell, and a basically function in a film urbanized areas, right? You have to take the RFID chip, right? And them all of our income, because it will show you, look, verse 23, then Joseph said unto the people, behold, I bought you this day and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land, and it shall come to pass in the increase that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and four parts shall be for your own, for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your household, and for food for your little ones, right? So after you're going to them cities here, Esau will put in for work, right? He might re-educate, and he might put in as various, because Esau not the type of man for just have everybody just steady, and him say, oh, majority of the world is useless eaters. So him not really depend on that in a film kingdom, you know. So I know, like, I will take the chip and I will go in there and just sit down and be like, yeah man, me safe now, me just get food. No. In order for get part of for buy and sell, and being a part of that digital currency there, right? And use the chip. You have to go with put to work, and them give your wages with them same fit. That's why even part of the whole universal law, you have to have a universal ID, and them try bring in a universal currency, and them plan to have universal wages or universal salaries, right? So this how the so-called white man think, and them plan to use debt, or you might use debt as a way to move towards that goal, right? Using the IMF and these other, the World Bank and these other um multilateral banking agencies, yo. So hey, it go for sure that history is there to prove that this is a way how you can also gain strength, but it's a wrong way, and it's a very oppressive way, right? That is why the Lord say unto our people, say, look, we're not supposed to lend each other upon usury. Upon the nations, you can lend them on usury, but not to your own, right? And but he's also wicked one do it to everybody, even him own, right? Because you use debt as a way to get power, right? And when people are starved and desperate, and we're willing to come to you and put themselves in debt, or put themselves under bondage to serve it, but you might need to take that mark to prove your allegiance to him, right? It'll be a sign that look, I am with the system. And when I say with the system, meaning you're with the ideals, you're with the culture, right? The customs, everything where the system uphold and that they stand for, right? That are the whole part of the mark of the beast for show your allegiance. And we can bring out in the scriptures where even Israel they even do that to each other, and then basically Nehemiah basically have to reprove them. Nehemiah 5 verse 1, and there was a great cry of the people and of their wives against their brethren the Jews, for there were that said, we, our sons and our daughters are many, therefore we take up corn for them that we may eat and live. Because in ancient Israel, once you have the poor, them used to clean basically the leftover things will drop out a basket, or you're not supposed to clean your whole land. You're supposed to left where the poor can come and basically take up and eat as them feel free, right? Some also that said, we have mortgage our lands, vineyards and houses that we might buy corn because of the dirt. So there was basically a famine, right? Or a drought, sorry. There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute and upon our lands and vineyards. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, our children as their children, and lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants. And some of our daughters are brought unto bondage already, neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards, right? Because when you say our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, you still have Israelites within other regions basically under bondage, because I never all of them leave the foreign lands, right? At this time, at the time of Nehemiah, right? So they must say, look, we're in a bondage. And even when them come back, them say them they have to sell because of the debt and the usury and them could pay back. And they end up have to basically put them sons and them daughters in a servitude, right? And they say, yo, them can't redeem them. Why? Because them can't come out of the debt, right? Because them can't, because the usury thing is a really messed up thing, and it's a hard type of debt to get out of, because you borrow, say you borrow $10, and when you look, you have to pay back $15, yo. You have to think about an extra 55 whenever having at the first place to get it back, for ensure to pay the debt. So it's really it's a very oppressive and heavy burden, right? And as you said, in ancient times, you're gonna slavery whether by captivity, whether by debt, or whether by you choosing to serve for a certain time, right? Also, or whether that you plan to be a hireling, right? We basically you work for a day's wage, right? And just to prove that it's usury or debt are the reason why this happened. This and it was basically wicked Israelites where Nehemiah therefore reproved. And I was very angry when I heard their city cry and these words. Then I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, ye exact usury every one of his brother, and I set a great assembly against them. Right? So basically them start reprove them and say, yo, they need for if leg of the debt. He said, and I said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which were sold unto the heathen, and will ye even sell your brethren, or shall they be sold unto us? And they held their peace and found nothing to answer. So basically, he reproved them and said, look, we're just in a bondage under these heathen, and yeah, actually I do the same thing where you put your brothers in the same position where all we just did in our while ago, right? Right? So basically, them are use debt for oppress, right? Because it's not a good thing to be a servant, yo. Or if you be a servant, it's a heavy burden, especially if you be a servant of Esau or the Esau system. We have the servant of the Lord. It's best servant to be, but overall to how them people are run this whole servitude in this aspect, it's not a good thing, yo. Because it's good to be a servant of the Lord, right? So this I bring out some scriptures in regards to the so-called white man and basically close it out. It's Job 20 verse 15. Um, start at verse 14. Yet his meat is in his bowels is turned, and in his gall of asp with him. He had swallowed down riches, but he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. Right? So all of this, all of this, what Esau do, basically him lose all this riches. Right? As a matter of fact, we'll get it where I say, just when he's about to fill his belly. So Esau now get away with this wicked and oppressive way, or you have the whole entire planet under bondage. Job 20 verse 23, right? It says when verse 22, right? In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, right? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And when you look up the word wicked, basically mean afflicted, right? So all the servants, all the nations who afflict, right? Down to all the way from down to Israel, right? Because we might afflict the most. We're basically come up against him, but through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, right? He shall, when he is about to fill his belly, God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and come out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. Right? So all of this oppression shit we do with the death, the Lord I go basically repay him double. Right? So called white man Edom. Proverbs 22 verse 16. He that oppresseth the poor to increase his riches, and he that giveth to the rich shall surely come to want. Because hey, them spread the wealth around to them own. Right? But them don't spread it down, them don't believe in a rich and poor. No middle class, no ways for elevate, you see me? Them only want it for themselves. So him come to want by what? Him are going to bondage, right? Under the Israelites. And him will be basically the least of the nations, yo. Because him ultimately might get destroyed. Him not gonna be no more. Right? Ecclesiastes Ecclesiasticus Salakia 10 verse 8, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Right? Because when they have a currency we don't back by the amount of resources that are unrighteous dealings, right? And one got trickery and all type of contracts and trick words, right? Like the Black's Law Dictionary and all them terms, certain phrases, right? And contracts, and cause all type of injuries. Them gonna get riches by deceit, right? So Esau gonna lose this kingdom because of how him be unrighteous, right? So we start read it once more and end this lesson. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So that want to say all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth, the sisters, the believers, the helps, shalom.